Good morning,
But
everyone.
underneath yours is pork as well. I mean, is rubber underneath.
We are going to get started this morning in a child's pose at the back of your mat. So take your big toes to touch and your knees nice and wide, and just scoot yourself towards the back of your mat. It's not going to be too weird, I promise. You can take whatever position with your arms feels best for you this morning. If you have sensitive shoulders, I recommend keeping a bend in your elbows. Otherwise, arms can go out nice and long, reaching towards the top of your mat, or you can even take your hands around the back and reach for your heels, just whatever feels good as you start to settle into your breath. Allow yourself to start feeling really heavy as your glutes track down towards your heels. You might start to feel your chest spreading a little bit wider, falling down towards your mat. Allow your breath to start to deepen, lengthening it out to about a 4 or 5 count. Noticing where in your belly your inhalation stops and your exhalation begins. And with each cycle of breath, moving that point deeper down into the bottom of your belly. As you inhale, feel your shoulder blades start to separate, your back expands, your rib cage expands. And as you exhale, feel that sinking and melting down towards your mat. Stay low as you tend into your fingers, hands towards the top of your mat if they're not there. Tend into your fingers and feel the top of your back start to activate. Try to squeeze the tops of your shoulders together. Stay deep in your child's pose. Walk your hands over to the right. So maybe that left hand has reached the top of your right. Maybe your left hand is reaching just beyond your right. Hug back your left hip. Try to sink it down towards your heel. Good. Now get a little heavier in your left armpit. Try to push it down towards your mat. Use an inhale, walk your hands back through center. Pause in the middle. Slide your hips back. Get heavy through your glutes. Exhale, walk your hands left. Hug back into your right hip once you get there. Maybe reach that right hand a little bit further. Good. Spiral your right armpit down to your mat. Inhale, walk your hands back through center. Exhale, sink deep into your child's pose. Inhale, press yourself up, tabletop position. So your knees are under your hips, wrists are under your shoulders, some cat cows to start. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze, push your palms down and feel your chest press forward. Exhale, round. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Drive your navel up. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, find a neutral spine. We're going to thread the needle starting on the right. When you're ready, right arm lifts, your chest spins towards child watch. Exhale, thread it underneath of your left arm, right palm faces up. You're resting on your right cheek. Press your weight back towards the back of the room to get it higher onto your hips so it's not crashing towards your neck. Toes can be tucked or untucked, that's your preference, and then advancements, if you practice them, maybe a half bind with your left arm around your low back. Maybe you extend your left leg towards the back of the room. Maybe you put that together and you bend into your knee, left hand grabs for left ankle, and your knee pushes to the back of the room. That's a little bit of a back bend. That's also a major balance. So squeeze your core and try not to hold your breath. Toes tucked will help if you are balancing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, slowly release what you have. Left hand will plant by your face. Press into it. Unwind your left or your right arm high. Exhale, tabletop. Other side. Inhale, left arm lifts. Spin your chest towards the mirrors. Exhale, thread your arm under your right. Left palm faces up. Left cheek is resting down. Weight presses back, toes tucked or untucked. Try to find the same shape that you took on the first side. Being mindful that if you are balancing, you have to keep your core nice and tight. And if you tuck your toes on your left foot, it will help you keep that balance. Keep driving the weight back behind you to keep it off your neck. Keep breathing deeper into the bottom of your belly. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, slowly release what you have. Right hand plants by your face, press into it, unwind your left arm high. And exhale, tabletop. Round of cat-cow to flush it out. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze. Exhale, round, drive your navel up, tuck your toes, hover your shins. Oh, Rose, did you roll? Drive your navel up in towards your spine. Keep your shins here at a hover. We're engaged here, working into your core with your bear plank. So I want you to feel like you're separating your shoulder blades. So push your hands down, firm up your arms, and feel your back start to lift. Good. Just holding here. 5, 4, 3, 2. Alternating knee taps. Right knee taps, pick it up. Left knee taps, pick it up. Try to keep your hips steady for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tap them together. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Drive your navels up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it for 5 seconds. You can do anything for 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop your knees, untuck your toes, walk your hands towards the top of your mat, find a puppy pose. So take a look towards the front here. Puppy pose, your hips are high over your knee. So get there. I don't want you sitting down. That's child's pose. Hips are high and your chest is low and sinking down through your arms. Again, sensitive shoulders. You're going to keep a bend in your elbows here. Those of you that want a deeper back bend, you can put your chin on your mat instead of your forehead. It's going to restrict your breathing, so make sure that you're still able to take nice, complete breaths. 2 more here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Use the inhale to walk your hands back underneath of your shoulders. Find that tabletop position. And then when you're ready, step your hands towards the top of your mat. Find a high plank. High on the balls of your feet. Your heels are stacked over your toes. Good. Navel's lifted. Gaze slightly ahead of your mat. Use an exhale to send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Make some movement here. Pedal it out. Bend your knees. Drive one heel down and then the other. You can floss back and forth between down dog and high plank. It's a good check-in for your alignment, and it's nice to get that length and a little bit of movement through the spine and through the hamstrings. Give yourself like 3 more full rounds of breath before you start to settle into stillness, and I'd like your feet at least hips distance apart. So about inner hips distance, 2/5 widths. Good, now you're thinking about an internal spiral of your thighs so that your heels start to pull slightly to the outer edges of your mat. Take a look back at your feet and try to hide your heels behind your toes. Good, now straighten into your arms and send your waist back. Inhale. Exhale, exhale, walk your feet up to meet your hands, forward fold, topping the mat. Half lift when you arrive, your hands come to your shins. Press your tailbone back behind you, lengthen your crown. Exhale, fold. Grab for opposite elbows here or a different variation of your arms that you prefer as you sway side to side, just hanging in your ragdoll pose. I want you to shift the weight back and forth from your heels to the balls of your feet and notice the sensations in the backs of your legs and in your low back. You're going to want the weight to settle in the balls of your feet and then that same internal spiral of your thighs so that your heels start to pull out. You'll feel your tailbone start to flare towards the back of the room. Use an inhale to try and lengthen through your spine. Maybe reach the crown of your head forward, even if you're unsupported. Good. Exhale, fold. Release your hands down. Inhale to rise all the way to standing. Urdhva Hastasana, coming up one vertebrae at a time. Arms lift at the top. Exhale, hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers. Press your palms together. Bend your elbows. And now try to pull your arms away from your back. Feel your chest press forward. And then with that bend in your elbows, see if you can lift your elbows up a little bit higher. Good. Keep the interlace, straighten your arms, roll your shoulders away from your ears, gaze lifts. Exhale to fold over two straight legs. That fist is pulling away from you. That's either towards the ceiling or towards the back of the room. That depends on your shoulders, not mine. So squeeze your palms together and just create some tension there as you get some length across the front of your chest. Good. Exhale, stay folded, release your hands down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step one foot back and then the other, high plank. Lowering down, knees, chest, and chin, little inchworm pose. So toes are tucked, elbows are high, squeezing into the sides of your body. It's a little bit of a back bend here. So as you inhale, slide through your arms, find a low cobra, untuck your toes. Chest is slightly lifted. Exhale, forehead down, push yourself back through child's pose. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up, downward facing dog. So that is a vinyasa option for you in between sequences. When I ask you to return back to downward facing dog, you can come through that Ashtagasana inchworm, knees, chest, and chin pose, and then slide through to cobra, take it to a child's pose. We'll do the next version on the next flow. So take an inhale here as you slide your waist back. Exhale, walk or step your feet up to meet your hands. Half lift at the top. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, come all the way to standing. Arms lift, squeeze your glutes, press your hips forward, lift your knees. Exhale, your hands behind your back, interlace the uncomfortable way, so opposite thumb on top. Press your palms together, bend your elbows, and lift your arms up away from your back. Now try to keep your chest pressing forward as you do that. Straighten your arms, roll your shoulders away from your ears. Hang on to that interlace, gaze lifts. Exhale to fold over two straight legs. Getting heavy through your upper body. Your weight is still in your toes, so your core is what's balancing you. Stay interlaced as you take an inhale, half lift. Feel yourself pull to the front of the room. Exhale, fold. Go ahead and release your hands down. Take an inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step one foot back and then the other, high plank. This time you're going to squeeze your elbows in and lower down halfway with straight legs for chaturanga. Here you'll flip to the tops of your feet. Inhale, pull your chest up and through. Upward facing dog, thighs stay lifted. And exhale as you roll up and back over your toes for downward facing dog. So any version of those vinyasas or whatever you feel. feel like doing to make your way back to down dog. It's all up to you. Couple of breaths here. Start to settle into the shape and get a little heavier into your heels. See if you can slide them back. Everyone, as you inhale, move forward into high plank. Good, so work your palms directly underneath of your shoulders. Feel your heels high over the balls of your feet. Look down at them. Good, now push your navel up. Try to get into a nice long line. Without moving your hands, send your hips up and back, down dog. So this is the width of your down dog. If it feels weird, that's okay. You probably were a little bit too narrow. Take an inhale. Exhale. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, send it back, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, send it back. Last one. Exhale, knee to nose. Hold it there. Get higher. Step into between your palms. Right foot plants. Stay high on the ball of your back foot. Wait for an inhale to lift, high lunge. Good, so you're driving into the ball of your left foot to send your left hip towards the front of the room as you hug back your right hip. Get nice and square through the shoulders too. Start to feel the top of your back engaged as your fingers roll in, palms press back. Exhale, hands behind your back, interlace. Roll your shoulders away from your ears, take your gaze a little higher. Use your next exhale to dive down, humble warrior. Inside of your right knee, thinking temple to ankle. Letting your upper body get really heavy, your head and neck relaxed, driving that fist away from you. Stay high on the ball of your back foot. It's going to help keep your hip closed. Firm up into your core. Use the inhale to lift. Come back up to neutral spine. Release your arms, high lunge. This time, bring your hands to prayer up overhead. And take your gaze up to your thumbs. Squeeze your thighs in towards the midline. It's going to affect your balance. And as you exhale, you're going to dive forward and reach your fingertips towards the front of the room. So like a fierce warrior with prayer hands. Shift the weight into your right foot. As you slowly shift forward, lift your left leg up behind you, warrior three. One breath here, inhale. Exhale, drop your left foot to meet your right, arms lift. Urdhva Hastasana, inhale. Exhale, swan dive it down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, jump or step back. Take your flow to go back to downward facing dog. So lowering down, chaturangas or inchworm. Inhale, slide your chest through, up dogs or cobras. And exhale, either through child's pose or straight back, downward facing dog. 2 full breaths here in your down dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, send it back. Last one, exhale, knee to nose. Flex your foot, plant it in between your palms. Now wait for your inhale here. It's going to help with balance to lift into your high lunge. Firm up your feet first. Good. See if you can come up without wobbling around. Then once you're there, start to refine the pose starting from the bottom. You're pressing with the ball of your right foot. You're driving the heel and the ball of your left foot down because that's activating your arch. If you feel like you're gripping with your left toes, that just means you have a little extra room that you can slide your left foot a little bit further towards the top of your mat. Now really straighten into your right leg and feel your right hip move forward as you hug back your left hip. Nice. Good. Now bring your awareness to your belly button, and I want you to lift from there as you send your chest to where the ceiling meets the wall in front of you. Nice. Exhale, interlace your hands behind your back the uncomfortable way. Roll your shoulders away from your ears, keep your gaze high. Use your exhale to dive down, humble warrior, inside of your left knee. So pay attention to that right hip because it wants to open back up. Stay on the ball of that foot to keep your right hip pressed down. Start to relax your head and neck. See if you can drop your gaze towards the back of the room. Use your inhale to come back up, releasing your arms at the top, high lunge, hands come to prayer. Gaze lifts up towards that prayer. Feel your arm bones slide back in line with your ears. Now as you exhale, fingertips towards the front of the room for fierce warrior variation. Get heavier into your left foot. Use an inhale to shift your weight forward. Right leg extends behind you. Unsupported warrior 3. Inhale. Exhale, right foot drops to meet your left. Urdhva Hastasana, arms reach high. Exhale, swan dive it down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, make your way back to downward facing dog. Chaturanga or inchworm, up dogs or cobras, child's pose or just downward facing dog. 2 full rounds of breath. Inhale your right leg up high behind you. Bend your knee and open up your hip. Squeeze your heel into your glute and try to get your knee to rotate straight up towards the sky. Your left shoulder is going to want to dump, so really drive your left palms down and straighten that arm. Nice adjustments. Good. Straighten your leg. Close off your hip. Exhale, knee to nose. Your foot plants in between your palms. Back foot spins 90 degrees. Wait for an inhale to find your warrior 2. Hips and shoulders square to the side mirrors. Arms parallel to the ground. So same thing here. Refine the pose once you get up there, starting at your feet. Heel to arch alignment. So draw a line from your front heel to your back foot. It should hit your arch. Feel the outer edge of your left foot press into your mat. So that pinky side, try to drive it down. Squeeze into your left glute to send your left hip down. Lift your chest, shoulders stacked over hips. Gaze is over your right middle finger. Sink down. Breathe. Relax your shoulders. Inhale, hinge forward, right palm flips up. Exhale, reach it back, peaceful warrior. Don't lose that bend in your front knee. You can take a half bind with your left arm around your low back if you like it, or you can just let your left arm track down your leg. Keep driving your right knee forward as your upper body is pulling you back. Create that resistance. Release the half bind if you have it. Inhale as you pass through warrior 2 into side angle, right forearm to right thigh. Left hand reaches you towards the ceiling. Palm is facing the side mirrors, and you feel as though someone is pulling you up by that arm, lifting you. Nice. Trying to keep that space underneath your right rib cage, in between your right rib cage and your right thigh. Lean back into your left shoulder. See if you can spiral your right rib cage towards the side mirrors a little bit more. And then if you want to take this deeper, right hand can move down inside of your right foot. keeping that side angle shape. Everyone's gonna take the Utthita, left fingertips reach towards your side mirrors, palm face down, sweep it across towards the front of the room. Now create a long line from left fingertips all the way to the outer edge of your left foot. Okay, see if you can stay nice and light on that right hand. Use your inhale, come all the way up and back, straightening your front leg, peaceful triangle. Flush it all out. Anchor down the ball of your right foot so that you can pull all of that length up out of your right side now. Legs stay the same. Inhale, come through neutral spine, pause there. Wait for your next inhale to really hinge forward. I want you to take your left hip and press it to your back windows. Now reach right fingertips towards the front of the room. Exhale, drop your hand down, find your triangle pose. Right hand comes to your shin or to a block or to the mat. If you want a block, let me know. Good, so you have to step hard into the ball of your right foot here. It's gonna protect your knee from hyperextending now that your weight is coming forward. See if you can stand a little heavier into your left foot, because that's also gonna help to redistribute it so you're not adding so much pressure to your right knee. As you exhale, gaze moves to the top of your mat. We're finding half moon pose, so slight rebend into your right knee. Right hand is going to shift to 1 or 2 o'clock. As you inhale, shift your weight forward, left leg lifts behind you. Your hip stays open here. So your left foot is parallel to the ground and you're flexing into your foot. Right hand is down to start. You can then come unsupported after the fact, but start with your right hand down and just see if you can feel your left hip start to kind of roll and stack on top of your right. Keeping your gaze down on the ground. Definitely it's something not moving, so don't look at your toes. And then here, if you want to try and come unsupported, maybe right fingers come up, maybe you come to half heart, or you reach them towards the front of the room, whatever feels good. You have 3 breaths here to play. Inhale. Exhale. Shavasana is also available if you practice. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Everyone with control. Exhale, hand, gaze, and foot to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Find a half lift here. Exhale, fold. Listen up. Option to take a crow pose and jump back into your vinyasa, or you can step back into your vinyasa. So anyone that wants to go ahead and add a crow pose there, you're welcome to do so. Otherwise, you're making your way back to downward facing dog. Nice, George. 2 breaths in down dog, or if you need to drop down and take a child's pose or get some water, that's always good. When you are ready, inhale your left leg up high, bend your knee and open up your hip. Really feel the length. Now you know where we're going, so feel where you're getting that length on the front of your left hip. Feel your right arm get a little firmer so that you add a tiny twist as you square your shoulders. Good, straighten your leg, close off your hip, exhale, knee to nose, foot plants between your palms. Back foot spins 90, wait for your inhale, warrior 2. So a little bit of a longer hold here in your warrior, so really start to feel the little nuances of the pose. Work yourself up from your feet and notice where you're holding tension and whether you should be holding tension there. Relax into the places that need softening. Your traps, the very tops of your shoulders, allow them to sink away from your ears. Find a softening in the front of the hips as you work on spiraling your thighs out away from you so that your hips can naturally sort of press towards the child watch room. Find a neutrality in your pelvis as your tailbone presses straight down and your lower abs start to cinch you up on your exhales. Inhale, hinge forward, left palm flips. Exhale, peaceful warrior, half bind if you took it on the first side. Feel that left knee pulling you towards the front of the room. Feel your left hand pulling you towards the back, creating space along your left ribs. Feel them engage as you inhale, separating. Release the half bind. Inhale, coming through neutral into side angle. Left forearm, left thigh to start. Right hand, palm faces child watch. Good, so with your forearm on your thigh, that's a really great spot to use that as leverage to really nail that opening of your chest towards the child watch room. So think about your left rib cage and see if you can push your left arm enough against your thigh that your left rib cage starts to spiral towards the child watch room. Maybe your gaze will lift towards the ceiling as your chest opens up even more. If you're ready to take this deeper, you can go ahead and bring your left hand down. Try to keep that openness of your chest. Try not to let yourself collapse down onto your left thigh. Beautiful. Everyone, take right finger, reach towards the child watch room, palm face down, Utthita, sweep it across towards the front of the room. But now feel all that extra length that now you're finding on this right side. Get a little heavier into the pinky edge of that foot. Good. Good, now find some lightness in your left hand. Use the inhale, come all the way up, straighten your front leg, peaceful triangle, reach back, 2 straight legs, 2 straight arms, anchoring down your left foot and reaching against it. Nice. Use the breath to find the space. Inhale, coming up, back through a neutral spine. Pause here. Reach your left fingers forward as you pull your right hip back. Then when you're ready, left hand drops, right arm lifts. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. Stay engaged through your left quad. Feel like you're lifting up that kneecap, and that's going to keep it protected there as we're weight is crashing forward. Stand a little heavier into that back foot. Maybe start to play with the gaze, working it up towards the side wall or maybe up towards the ceiling. One more full round of breath. Inhale. Exhale. Shift your gaze towards the top of your mat, finding half moon pose. Slight rebend into your left knee. Left hand finds 10 or 11 o'clock. Shift forward, right leg lifts. Tension in your right foot. It is flexed hard and it's parallel to the ground because your hips are open. Leave your left hand down to start until you can really roll and stack your hips up. Good. Squeezing into your right glute will help lift your right leg a little bit higher so it's in line with your hip, which then will make balancing easier. And then if you are ready to start playing with your unsupported versions or come into Chapasana, if you took it on the first side, you are welcome to do so. We have 3 full breaths here. Challenging your balance, controlling your breath. Inhale. Exhale, hand gaze and foot to the top of your mat. Everyone finds forward fold. Find that half lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, either Bakasana to your Vinyasa to down dog, or make your way to down dog, however you choose. We're taking it down into some pigeon status, so it's gonna be good. When you're ready in that down dog, inhale your right leg up high. Exhale, bring your knee into your nose. And now listen up, I want you to cross your right ankle over your left knee and then come back to that down dog shape. So it's like a down dog shape with like figure 4 legs. So from here, really flex into your right foot and press your right knee towards the back of the room. Feel your hips start to open a little bit. Inhale as you rock forward into a plank. Keep your legs in this shape. Okay, shift the weight into your left hand. Peel up your right for a side plank with tree or figure 4 legs. Right hand comes down and your shin finds the top of your mat. Find your pigeon pose. Thanks, Jeff. So we're found pigeon on the right side. Your right shin is coming as parallel as it can towards the top of your mat. I want you to make sure that your knee is outside of your hip. So if you draw a line from your right knee back, you should not touch your body. Okay? Left leg is nice and straight out behind you. Toes aren't singled in. Leg is long. And then come on down to where your resting pigeon is. Maybe forearms, maybe forehead. And start to settle into a slow and long breath here. Two more breaths before we add on. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So if you want to add on a back bend here, you'll start to work your palms underneath your shoulders. If you want to stay in pigeon, you can stay in pigeon. With your palms underneath of your shoulders, I want you to lift up your chest and try to get lighter on your palms so that you're not driving all your weight down. Then, left knee will bend, left hand is going to reach back and grab for your left foot. Square your shoulders towards the front of the room, and then maybe start to hug your heel in towards your glute. Other options from there, you can lift up your right hand and make it a balancing posture. Maybe that hand comes all the way up and comes behind your head and you grab your fingers for a mermaid. Beautiful. 2 breaths. Inhale. In. Exhale without slingshotting. Slowly release whatever you have. Everyone meets with hands planted at the top of your mat. Tuck your left toes. Pick up your left knee. Hover that right shin up in front of you just for a moment and then shoot it up and back. 3-legged dog. Bend your knee, open up your hip. Maybe wild thing if you practice, flipping over, landing lightly on those right toes, sending your hips so high, opening up your chest. Beautiful. Inhale. And then using your next inhale to flip back over. Everyone meets in downward facing dog. 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Other side, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to nose, and then cross your ankle over your right knee. Find that figure 4, send your hips back. So now feel your left knee start to push towards the back of the room. Feel that outer left hip stretch. Start to load the weights now into your right hand. Shift forward into a high plank. Shift forward into high plank. Weight in your right hand. And inhale, peel open your left for a side plank. Exhale, come back down. Your shin finds the top of your mat for your pigeon pose on the second side. So, working that shin parallel or as close to, nice and long through your back leg. Make sure your left hip is inside of your left knee. And then lowering down, knowing that one side is going to feel a lot less comfortable than the other. So if this is that side for you, just give yourself some grace and allow yourself a few more extra breaths before really settling in. Feel yourself slow down. Feel your face start to soften. Maybe you're separating your teeth, unclenching. If you're adding on that back bend, slowly start to work your palms underneath of your shoulders. Then lift your chest. Try to get lighter on your fingertips. Bend into your right knee. Right hand reaches back, right ankle, right foot. Square your right shoulder to the front of the room. So pull it forward first. And then start to hug right heel into your glute. The more that you can sit up here, the more of a back bend and the more length you're getting in the front of your right hip. Advancements include lifting up your left arm, finding a little balance. 2 breaths wherever you are. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Release what you have. Everyone needs 2 hands planted at the top of your mat. Tuck your back toes. Pick up your back knee. Hover that left shin there for a moment. And then shoot it up and back. 3-legged dog. Bend your knee. Open up your hip. Wild thing if you took it on the first side. See if you can land really softly on those left toes. And then send your hips up. Gaze lifts. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, go ahead, flip back over. Everyone meets in downward facing dog. 2 full breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, drop down to your knees. Sit up onto your heels. Just a quick little hero's pose. Take your arms up nice and high. Hands interlaced behind your head. Elbows are super wide and they're gonna stay that way. Inhale, lift up, find a little camel prep. Just some twisting here. You can tuck or untuck your toes, whatever feels good. As you exhale, twist over to the right. Try to keep your elbows nice and wide. Try to keep your hips pressing forward. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, center. Leave your left hand. Right hand comes down to your right heel. Lean back with that left elbow as you press your hips forward. Little half camel here. Inhale, come back to center. Right hand comes back behind your head. Left hand now reaches for left heel. Press your hips forward. Keep that right elbow pressing back. Half camel. Option to come back to center or release your right hand down for full camel. 2 full breaths wherever you are. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Use the inhale to slowly return to that neutral position. Sit yourself down onto your heels, and everyone find yourself in a child's pose to close out class. If you hate child's pose and it's not comfortable for you, you are welcome to find a shavasana if you do not want to end class in a child's pose. So let go of your conscious breathing, shut down your eyes, and surrender here. Use an inhale, take a deep breath in through your nose, fill yourself up. Exhale, side out. Inhale and slowly roll yourself up to a seated position. Find a comfortable seat if hero's pose doesn't work for you. Keeping your eyes shut down, bringing your hands to heart center, bowing your chin in honor of your practice. Thanking yourself for making it to your mat this morning. Thanking this body for allowing you to complete an asana practice. Thanking this community for allowing others to share that practice. And as always, I thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be free of suffering, may you live in peace, and may your life be blessed with ease. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.